Welcome to the Dr. Stacy Show, where we're talking about all things faith, love, and wellness. I am your host, Dr. Stacy, and I am super excited to be kicking off my inaugural season. Each season, my goal is to tackle a theme, and this season, we are talking about healing Black men and lifting Black boys. I'll be taking the time to speak to incredibly talented and amazing Black men in their fields and profession to gain insight into key areas of wellness. Wellness in ways that we can support through faith, love, and wellness. So today, I am so excited to be speaking with and having with us Richard Bouknight, who is a senior professional master barber, has owned a shop. He's been a barber for 35 years. The shop is called Richard's, which I love the name, and is located in Jeffersonville. He's a father, church, and community leader. He has this amazing business called Have Clippers Will Travel, which supports nursing facilities, senior citizens, homeless shelters, and anyone that he can reach in the community. Richard, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Stacy, for having me. I appreciate you reaching out to me.
Well, and so Rich, here's what's really cool. So I always do this like pre-show conversation, and you and I, we've met each other in the community, serving in the community. And one of the things I love when we talk about barbershops, when I found out you were a barber, I was like, oh, I have to have you on my show. We got to talk because, we see barbershops in movies, barbershop two, one, two, that's, all those things. Tell us your experience in 35 years. What is the benefit of the community barbershop? Why do we need barbershops?
Well, I think the movie gave you a small snippet of, what actually happens in a barbershop. To me, I feel as though a barbershop is really the Black man's country club.
Mhm.
We come in contact with older and younger men, and at one point it was really a learning experience. I think in the later years it turned to people on their phones and it wasn't as much communication. But me, I learned so much from the older men that would come in and tell stories and just try to talk to us about what we are going to encounter in life down the road. But as a young man, as all young men, we're all like, yeah, well, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen to me. Blah 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 blah. They talked about health issues. They talk about financial issues. They
Mm.
talk about marriage and how to talk and deal with women and also kids. They tell you how to be a father, but everyone's situation is very, very different. But the beauty of it is if you sit and listen, you will learn so much and you'll get the little nuggets on your travels and you use those nuggets. You conform it to your life and what you're doing, but you just have to pay attention because all of the nuggets are right there.
I love that sense of like just natural community. And yes, the Black Men's Country Club, I do love that as well, right? To say, hey, this is where we come and find sense of community.
Mhm.
When you think about, because again, 35 years is a long time. Talk to me a little bit about maybe what you've seen like with generations and families. And do the same families bring like their sons to you? And then what does that look like?
Oh, yes, yes. Like I said, 35 years. I am on a lot of third generations.
Wow.
So I have seen the grandfather, I have seen the father, and now I'm on the son. And a lot of times the fathers, all right, put it like this, when the kids would get to an age where they can come by themselves, the
Mm.
fathers would actually call me and ask me to have a conversation with their child about,
Mm.
this, that, and the other thing,
Right.
because kids don't, you get tired of hearing your parents' voice,
Right. Right.
So, and this is what the kids told me, like, my
Mhm.
dad, it's like, I don't know if you ever watched Charlie Brown, but, wang, wang, wang,
Yep.
this,
Yep.
I hear you, but I'm not paying
Mhm.
attention. So, I've been blessed to have a clientele that
Mm.
trust me with their children.
Yeah.
So Now I'm able to talk to them one on one about what's going on, and them not understanding that, yeah, your dad called me to tell me to talk to you about this, but I try to bring it up, just in conversation to see how their life and their daily life is gone. So it's been real, it's been very fulfilling for me because I love it when a young man like looks at me with that light comes on, is like,
Mhm.
Mr. Rich, well, this is what happened. And then, I can get that, I can relay it to the father, and get him to talk to his child in a different way. Instead
Mm.
of coming at him, just
Mhm.
try to have a conversation and lead into that. So that has been one of my greatest fulfillments with this job.
And I love that, Rich, because it's almost what I do even as a therapist, right? Parents will
Mhm,
send me a note and say, "Hey, talk to
mhm,
my kid about this." I go
mhm,
in session, talk to them about this, right? And then
mhm.
give parent feedback. And you're doing that even in the chair, right? Like,
Yes.
and I know that's a movement too, where people are saying, let's train our barbers to be
Mhm,
mental health first aid. But you're already doing that naturally with you.
mhm. Yes, I mean it comes with time, but it's also a barber has to want to better their client's situation. And you have to listen.
Mm,
You can't just, talk, or, watch TV or things, but you have to want to better, I guess, your life and someone else's life. And it's just through conversation because, I learned how to deal with my son.
mm,
I never thought that my son would tune me out, but no,
mhm,
he actually did. Like when kids get to be 18 to 22, they think they know everything and you just come at them. But hearing my young clients talk about their fathers,
mm.
I had to switch up some things because as parents, we all think we're perfect. You
Right?
know, we all think we're perfect, but I had to switch up some things. So I learned a lot,
Mhm.
just how to deal with him. And then my young guys, when they go away to college, they call me, they'll text me, and also I have young clients that when they are out with their friends, like at night, because one of my things is I want you to start making the right decisions in real time.
Mm,
Don't just come to me and say, "Oh, Mr. Rich, I made a mistake." And
mm,
so I'll text young clients at like 11:30 at night
mm.
just to see if they're making the right decisions.
Wow.
And they all and now they look forward to it. Like, Mr. Rich, I'm going up to Wildwood for the weekend. You can hit me up. I'm going to be with my friends and my boys. And so I try to just check in.
I love that. I know we were talking even before the show as well about kind of like the misconception of the kids that are getting in trouble or the kids that
Mhm.
aren't making right decisions. What have you seen as a barber in our communities and what's happening with young people and families?
Well, I think well, not everyone, but society thinks that it's just the kid who's living in the ghetto or one parent home, or, they're the only ones with the problems. Like, no, it's two parent homes, it's well to do families, big houses, good cars, vacations. It's those kids as well. They have a lot of, I say, just as many struggles,
Mm-hmm.
as the inner city kids. I try not to, and this comes with my church as well. I try not to just focus on the kids with one parent. I put extra into them as well because
Yeah.
8 out of 10 times they're only with their mother.
Mm-hmm.
So, I try to be consistent because I think all kids want discipline, but you have to be consistent with it, and also encourage them and acknowledge when they do right,
Mm-hmm.
So that's just how I try to be because, I see the families that don't have the means, and I'll tell you like this. I would say 7 out of 10 of those kids are good kids.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do better. And if they can get around an environment that, encourages that, they might come in a little prickly at one point because they just don't understand what's going on and they're
Right.
not used to this. But like I say, consistency with them,
Mhm.
encouragement, they get to be just fine. And the well-to-do kids, it's the entitlement with them.
Mm,
They get cars at 16. They go on vacations every year. The parents give them money to go to Wildwood and Ocean City, and they think this is just what it is. But if you look into their background and talk to their parents, they're not taking out the trash. They're not cutting
mhm,
grass. When mom and dad are doing things around the house, they're in the bed sleep,
mm.
because why should I do it? I'm still going to get my money, my little allowance or whatever, at the end of the week so I can go and hang out. So it's just a lot of things. And I think that we need to just pay attention and to
Mhm.
all the kids, you
I
know.
love that. Yeah, no, and I love that because even in the mental health space, I always say, right, like the mental health isn't about your means, it's about
Hmm.
the individual child.
Yeah.
But right, we're
Yes.
seeing the challenges in every economic demographic of our kids, right? And to say just because, right, the single mom may have different struggles than the two-parent family, but they're both struggling with their kids. And here you have an opportunity even to be like that extended part of family
Hmm.
therapist, right? We can give it a lot of titles when we talk about barber, right? Like
Hmm.
therapist, family member, uncle, right? Extra support
Hmm.
as you're talking, engaging. You said something earlier just now about the idea of like technology and where the shop might be more conversation. How have I guess the idea of the time change from right? We didn't have phones 30, 35 years ago,
Hmm.
right? You've seen technology, social media. How do you see that impacting our youth or even just like the barbershop dynamic?
Instead of huge, like the huge barbershop conversations, got the young guys over there, old guys over here, the
Mm,
barbers are here,
mhm,
instead of everybody engaging in one big conversation, whether it be sports or anything, now all you see is their heads down
mm,
and they're on social media or whatever, watching little videos, or whatever. And that's what's hurting our kids, period. And like I said, my older guys, I try to encourage, like, talk to the young man. If you sit down next to the young man, try to talk to him.
mm,
Get him engaged in what we're talking about, because, like I said, and kids put so much on social media and where they should be at. They think they should be at because
mm,
they see four people on social media that have made it, but they haven't
mhm,
seen the 400,000 other people on social media who are, trying to be what those four people are. So they put so much pressure on themselves, and that's another road that takes our kids to the
mhm.
left, only because they think they're 20 years old, and because they see two 20-year-olds with Lamborghinis and the big houses, and they think that's where they're supposed to be. And if they're not anywhere near that, still living at home, don't have a car, it really beats down their soul,
Mm,
because they think they're not good enough and they're not making it because they don't have a Lamborghini sitting out front. So, these are things that I just try to talk with my kids and anyone that listens, that social media is nothing to gauge your life on,
yeah.
and that's what we talk about in the shop. That's what my guys talk about. I have my best friend played in the NBA for 13 years.
Mhm.
So I try to get him, and he's actually a assistant coach for the Philadelphia 76ers right now. But I try to get him when he speaks, when I say, well, he's played on the Minnesota Timberwolves 13 years. They're like, they want to hear everything he says, but I try to
Mhm.
get him to get
Mm.
them to understand that there's only one out of 10,000 people make it here.
Yeah.
There's only
Mhm.
one out of 10,000 that make it to these levels of one percenters. So you can strive to get there, but just put your best foot forward every day and see where it takes you. But if it doesn't take you there, don't get down on yourself and think that you didn't make it in life, because you can still make a wonderful, wonderful life for yourself.
I love that because you're so, when we think about Black men and our boys, and I know I had another guest talk about like we sell the dream to kids,
Mhm,
right? 1% to be like, even from an idea of professional athletes in sports, like we don't make it in those numbers.
mhm,
You have a
mhm.
better chance of, right, being a business owner. You have a better chance of,
Yes,
going to college and getting a degree and working a really great job that pays well. You can do
yes.
investments, you can do all kinds of things
Mhm,
to get to that financial place,
mhm.
but it may not be through athletics and sport.
Yeah.
And that's that piece too. You talked about the pressure. When you think about the opportunity to talk to not just young men, what pressure are you seeing for their fathers these days? As you're sitting in the chair interacting with men, what pressures do you hear from Black men?
We go through it.
It was that deep sigh said it all. Listen, I'm like,
We go through it
yeah.
because, our kids think that like we're so hard on them. Like,
Mm.
you know, and like I always tell my son and my younger clients, like, listen, man, like, we're not here. Well, let me start here. Parents have a mother and a father has different jobs in the household. Your mother's there to take care of you, nurture you, love on you, and all of these things. Your father is here. We're not your friend.
Right.
We're not your friend. We are here to prepare you for the world. We are here for you to understand when the ups and the downs come, be
Mhm.
prepared for it and push through it.
Mm.
Because everybody in the world is going to have an up and a down. And when the down comes, it's like the sunshine disappears and the kids, and the more we try to talk to you and try to
Mhm.
push you, try to encourage you, try to support you, they look at us like we're like the warden in a jail. Like,
Mm.
Dad, you're not listening to me. I was like, no, I'm listening to you, but this is what I need for you to hear from me. Like,
Mm.
I've been there. Like, and I will say that I was a little harder on my kids. I was homeless at one time. When I was 19, 18, 19, I slept in my car.
Mm.
My father left us and I had to take care of my mom. I had to get her right. But I actually slept in my car for a while.
Mhm.
And I put pressure on myself to make sure my child never has to go through that. So,
Mm.
I've always tried to tell him, like, as long as I'm alive and breathing, you'll never go through what I went through.
Mm.
Because I'm never going to leave you. I'm
Mm.
never going to stop supporting you. But as a father, when you stop catering to the child and stop giving him things because he's not doing the right thing, they really turn on us.
Mm.
They really turn on us. They like I said, they just think we're this ward and we're just like beating them down, beating them down, beating them down.
Yeah.
But it's all information because the world does not care about you,
Mm.
especially as a young Black man. We
Mm.
are pushed to the side and we have to do
Mm.
things four times, five times better than the other race, the
Mhm.
Caucasian race, because that's just the way it's been built that way. So there's a lot of fathers, and including myself, we have moments where we go sit down and like, wow, I never would have thought that my son would react to me and
Mhm.
treat me like this. And I always try to get my son and kids to understand, like, when you get ready to do something or don't and you're not going to do it, see how it affects your parents,
Mm.
because you're not just on your own. We're supporting you, especially if you're still living in our home,
Right, that part.
you know especially then. But They don't think on that part. They just think you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm 25 living in your house, but you're supposed to treat me like an adult. And when we tell them, if you want to be treated like an adult, then you need to go get your own place, get your own bills, and then our relationship will change. But the kids just don't see it like that. And dad is always the bad guy. I'm always bad cop in my house, which which I don't mind.
Right.
If my son can outdo me in life and make
Mm,
a way for himself, I'm all for it. And I always tell him, all I want in life is for you to be happy, first of all, but be prepared for this world. And when I when I pass away or on my deathbed, and I know I have prepared you for that,
mm.
I can die in peace.
Yeah, that part.
I can die in peace. And that's all I want. But kids don't see that until they get into their 30s.
I always say that. Yep. It's about 26, 27. They start coming back around.
They start coming back around.
Yeah.
My son is
Mhm.
31. So about 28,
Yep.
he started coming back slowly to dad. And this is what all my fathers say.
Uh-huh.
Like I never thought my child would be like that, but
Yes.
that's what it is.
So, Rich, as we're getting ready to close out, what would be kind of your a tip or advice you would have to our Black men, and then a tip or advice to our young men or those of us raising young men?
To the Black men, to the fathers, please listen to your child. Listen to him, encourage him to find a mentor, which I know we all think as men, like, you don't need a mentor, I'm right here.
Mm,
But in a lot of cases, that's just not the scenario that happens. Like,
yeah.
find a mentor, find someone that you can talk to, and have an honest conversation. Not hiding things. Tell that someone you can tell the entire story to. I'm blessed that I will say most of my young clients, they won't lie to me because they figure out I'm going to get the real version no matter what. So I will say I'm very, very blessed on that end as well. And as far as the young guys,
Mhm.
just please find someone you can talk to. Find someone that you trust and loves you.
Yeah.
And if it's an uncle, that doesn't happen a lot anymore because everybody's in their life and they're moving around. But find someone that you can talk to, someone that you trust, someone that loves you, so you can just get these things off of your spirit and your brain because it weighs them down
Hmm.
because they think they're alone. Like my brother passed away 14 years ago. Him and my son were so close.
Mm,
And I know for sure I would not have dealt with some of the things that I dealt with my son if my brother was still alive.
yeah.
So that's what I encourage kids to just please find someone you can talk to. Let it be a teacher, an uncle, even a next door neighbor, somebody that's in your neighborhood that takes the time out for you, that wants the best for you. Like if you do that, I think you have a great chance at making a great life for yourself.
Rich, I love that. I love that. All right. So before I let you go, I always,
Okay.
my guests, humor me in a Laffy Taffy moment. Back in the day, right? We sit on the porch and eat our candy. So the
Okay.
Bible says that a joyful heart is good medicine. We're talking about our areas of wellness here and helping folks.
Mhm.
All right. So ready for the joke? Here we go. How does the moon cut hair? How does the moon cut hair?
How does the moon cut hair?
Hmm.
The moon cut hair. You got me on that one.
Okay. Here we go. Ready? E-
Okay.
eclipse it. Like an eclipse? Eclipse it.
That's a good one.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, Rich.
I thought about the weather, but I didn't think about an eclipse.
An
Okay.
eclipse. I know. I love it. Okay. So, how can our guests find you? Even I know, again, you have Clippers Will Travel. Tell folks about what you have going on, how they can get in touch with you, where your shop is. Here's your chance to let us know about you before you go.
I'm on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Richard Bouknight. Also, my phone number. Can I get my phone number?
Ken, if you want, absolutely.
215-828-4890. If anyone needs to reach out to talk to someone, I have a lot of different connections out here, so I can, connect you with, any of my guys that can help you in life with your kids. My email is clippersbyrich@gmail.com. And don't forget the S in Clippers. Okay. Then you can reach me. I'm here. I'm here to help anyone. If someone's definitely in my area that's sick and shut in, that needs haircut or a shave, I give nice hot towel shaves. I'm an old school barber, so I like to give the gentlemen what they used to get 30 and 40 years ago. So I do house calls. I have contracts with senior facilities and assisted living facilities. I try to help anyone that I can help through a good haircut and shave.
I love it. Thank you, Rich, so much. All right, guys, before we go, we're going to do our Love the Babies Well segment. And in Second Timothy 2 2, the Bible says, "And what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others." What I loved about our conversation today in the barbershop is it's an opportunity for us to help guide the next generation through male mentorship. We find community, but also opportunities. As Rich shared, we have chances to talk to our young men about business and sports and relationships. And most importantly, they get an opportunity to see men modeling what life looks like and how to be a success themselves. Folks, continue to support our local barbershops, continue to make this not only a safe space, but as Rich said, the country club for our Black men. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Dr. Stacy Show. Until next time, keep the faith, love the babies well, and pursue wellness.